Here is a speech from Dr. Martin Luther King in 1967. We as a nation must undergo a radical revolution of values. And one of the things about this speech that I find so intriguing is he talks a lot about the wage inequities and wealth inequities in this country. And he's doing this back, this would be 40 years ago, over 40 years ago. And it's one of the things that kind of gets overlooked with Dr. King. They always play the "I Have a Dream" speech, which is a beautiful speech. It's a wonderful speech, and that's the kind of world I'd love to live in. Is the world that he dreams for in that speech. But all of his, when he started talking about socialism and ending war and why are we spending all this money, those speeches didn't get as much play because they're not as they're not as comfortable for wealthy Americans, especially wealthy white liberals to digest. That makes them uncomfortable. So "I Have a Dream" is easier to just, oh yeah, we have a dream, and versus America. And all the things that you're going to hear in this speech are all things that are still happening today, and sometimes it's even worse. So I just want to read the speech for you. So this speech was given, and I'm reading the transcript from democracynow.org. So I'll put the link below. They actually, I think they played the video of it, but I'm going to read the transcript for you. And he says, "I am convinced that if we are to get on the right side of the world revolution, we as a nation must undergo a radical revolution of values. We must rapidly begin the shift from the thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society. When machines and computers, profit motives, and property rights are considered more important than people, the giant triplets of racism, extreme materialism, and militarism are incapable of being conquered." I would add sexism in there too. You want to cure misogyny and racism? Cure capitalism. A true revolution of values will soon cause us to question the fairness and justice of many of our past and present policies. On the one hand, we are called to play the Good Samaritan on life's roadside, but that there will be only an initial act. One day, we must come to see that the whole Jericho road must be transformed so that men and women will not be constantly beaten and robbed as they make their journey on life's highway. True compassion is more than flipping a coin to a beggar. It comes to see that an edifice which produces beggars needs restructuring. A true revolution of values will soon look uneasily on the glaring contrast of poverty and wealth with righteous indignation. It will look across the seas and see individual capitalists of the West investing huge sums of money in Asia, Africa, and South America, only to take the profits out with no concern for the social betterment of those countries and say, this is not just. It will look at our alliance with the landed gentry of South America and say, this is not just. The Western arrogance of feeling that it has everything to teach others and nothing to learn from them is not just. A true revolution of values will lay a hand on the world order and say of war, this way of settling differences is not just. This business of burning human beings with napalm, of filling our nation's homes with orphans and widows, of injecting poisonous drugs of hate into the veins of peoples normally humane, of sending men home from dark and bloody battlefields physically handicapped and psychologically deranged cannot be reconciled with wisdom, justice, and love. A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death. He said that 40 years ago. And how much more has the military budget grown since '67? He would be appalled to see the $700 billion that this country is spending. Up from $620 billion because a bunch of people, including 5 Democrats, voted to give Trump $80 billion more dollars. He would be appalled to see the first ever black president spend 55% of his budget. He would be appalled to see the first ever black president drone strike poor people in the Middle East. Makes napalm look like firecrackers. America, the richest and most powerful nation in the world, can well lead the way in this revolution of values. There is nothing except a tragic death wish to prevent us from reordering our priorities so that the pursuit of peace will take precedence over the pursuit of war. He said that April 4th, 1967, a year to the day before he was assassinated in Memphis. Thanks for watching the show.